No, sì. Devo suggerire la ma sai che capito io adesso sei in verità. Certo, io cerco allora sui dispositivi no, hai in progetto da
Sino nakaka situ? Okay, hi, good morning everyone. Stand up. Yeah, sit. Okay. Stand up. Welcome to Qualitative Data Analysis and the workshop. So it is it's my first time giving up this training for W. So bear with me, I'm a bit nervous, but we're gonna have that. Okay. Before I begin, may I know, has anyone of you used NVivo before? It's very well versed in qualitative data analysis. Or if you are very familiar with qualitative, what software have you used to to analyze your data?
No software.
No software. So meaning that you use manual. Wow. I salute those who did manual coding because it's a lot. Okay. What about others? Has anyone ever used or heard of NVivo? Never used. Okay. So a little bit about me. That I have used NVivo since 2018 for my research. It was during my master's from UiTM Shah Alam. Okay. So I have used NVivo since NVivo 10. Now we have NVivo 50, which is which has AI assistant, which is very easy. However, UOW did not take the AI assistant feature when they bought the NVivo, so we don't have that feature. So I wish I could show how to use the AI assistant because it is very easy to use and very helpful for those who are still studying and doing research. Okay, so but before that, let's begin with what is quantitative. Okay, so by the end of this training or workshop, you will know how to explain the or understand the fundamentals of qualitative data analysis. So there are several data analysis that we should get right. First, content analysis. Second, thematic analysis. And then not the least favorite, the least popular is IPA or interpretative phenomenological analysis, which I use for my master's and PhD. Okay, and the use of NVivo to organize, code, and manage qualitative data. And then lastly, to generate and interpret basic outputs to support analysis. Okay, so why do we do qualitative research or qualitative study? Because qualitative research prioritizes rich descriptive data that provides insights into the complexity of human behavior, which we cannot get from quantitative research. Quantitative research, their aim is to generalize the meaning that the answers are premeditated. Okay, based on literature, based on past studies, we get or we come up or structure the survey based on past research and past studies and articles. But qualitative data analysis, we or research, we want to learn the life experience or the life experience or insights, opinion about the surrounding environment and etc. And it embrace subjectivity and acknowledge the researcher's role in shaping the research process. Okay, as a qualitative researcher, your role is as an instrument, meaning that you don't do survey as your instrument, but yourself, because you are the interpreter of the data. Okay, for example, like if you say the tomato is a fruit, then you have to find support to describe that. Okay, that the tomato is a fruit. Okay, and etc. So, qualitative research can be applied to generate new ideas, meaning okay, to generate new ideas. Okay, meaning to explore research to uncover more concept. For example, like the concept of violence, perhaps. Okay, in if you are doing quantitative, everything that you know about violence is only general. However, violence in qualitative research can come in different form. For example, what I'm learning currently, I'm doing research on technological facilitated gender-based violence. So back then, we never heard of gender-based violence, and gender-based violence can come in the several form. And technological facilitated gender-based violence also come in several forms. For example, like revenge porn, doxing, cyberbullying, and etc. So these are the concepts that we are trying to explore and unfold. Okay, and then giving voices to participants. As a qualitative researcher, we allow our participant to talk. Basically, what I usually say to my student that we give them a platform to yell. Meaning they can talk whatever about their experience, their opinions, and etc. Okay, and then to explore complex issue, in-depth analysis of multifaceted topic. For example, like gender violence as just now. Okay, it's a multifaceted topic. It's first it talks about gender, and then second it talks about violence and crime, and so explore complex issue. Okay, understanding context, interpreting findings within social and cultural framework. And then lastly, to develop theories. When I did my PhD, we did this thing called triangulation, where I triangulated three theories. Resources and appropriation theory, bundled transactional theory, and TPEC theory, technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge theory. So from these three theories, we hybridize it, and then it becomes a new model for us to mitigate challenges in online and remote learning. That was my PhD topic, basically. Okay, so there are several paradigms for qualitative research. Okay, so first we have narrative, phenomenology, ethnography, grounded theory, and case study. Okay, the focus for narrative is to understand the meaning and the story of human lives. Okay, and the phenomenology to understand the essence of shared life experience. For example, like challenges during online and remote learning during COVID. So that is a phenomenon. Okay, and then ethnography, for example, if we are doing research about race or research about certain communities, so that is ethnography. Ethnography is a little bit interesting because there is now a development. Now it's called ethnography, meaning community online. So there is another research that we can do on, that we can tap on. And then grounded theory, the process and action leading to emergent theory or hybridized theory. Okay, and then case study. Of course, we are so familiar with case study. In-depth exploration of a bounded system. Okay. And then the data analysis for narrative usually based on thematic analysis. Phenomenology, usually people use IPA, interpretative phenomenological analysis. Ethnography also sometimes you can use IPA or thematic, or you can use content analysis. Grounded theory, you can use thematic or case study. and then case study, of course, itself. Okay, you can use triangulation of data or sources, findings, and etc. Okay. Okay. Which qualitative data source should be used for research? Okay, you can use in-depth interview, okay, or focus group, which are totally different from interview. Interview is one-to-one. In-depth interview, focus group interview is within a group, okay, and then it is advised not to have a bigger group when you do a focus group, so that it's easier for you to control or to delegate the focus group sessions. Okay, advice to do like five to 5 to 7 people per session. Okay, and then documents. This is case study or content analysis, and then social media also content analysis, and field notes observation. Okay, okay. What they say, this one explain. Okay. The sample. Okay. So now let's move on to thematic analysis. Okay. Thematic analysis is the process of identifying, analyzing, and interpreting patterns. Okay, or themes. Okay. Within qualitative data, themes captured recurring ideas, meanings, and or experience expressed by participants or informants. So meaning that if we during the interview we noticed that some of our participants said about the same thing. For example, like we want to understand the concept of violence. Okay, so violence comes in the form of, let's say, cyberbullying. Okay, how do they do cyberbullying? Okay, cyberbullying can come in the form of participant A said that uh, their picture were edited using AI, or their uh, personality was mocked on social media and etc. So those are considered as cyberbullying. So those are the pattern. Okay, and then we can drag this and then put in the theme under cyberbullying. Okay, I hope you guys understand. You guys understand? Okay, are you following me so far? Okay. So according to Brown Club's approach, 2006, 2019, and 2021, they argue thematic analysis is not a tool but a standalone method in its own right, meaning that you don't have to find a supporting analysis to support your research. Okay, emphasis on flexibility, meaning that thematic analysis can be used within different paradigms. For example, constructivist, interpretivism, and even critical, or even case study itself. Okay, and programming theory. And they provide 6 clear steps to conduct thematic analysis. First, familiarization with the data. Familiarization with the data. First, of course, you as an interviewer, you are the tool. You have to familiarize yourself with the data. Meaning, during the interview, you have to capture all those highlighted points or issues and etc. And then you have to find those highlighted points in the transcript throughout the interview. Okay, familiarize yourself. Meaning you go through the script or the transcript over and over again to understand that you have the same interpretation with your respondents or informants. Okay, and then next, generating initial code. Coding interesting features of the data systematically. If the first time, the first coding, or we call it open coding, can be anything under the sky. Okay, so for example, like tomato is a fruit, then you find everyone who said tomato is a fruit, then you put under one code. Okay, or someone said tomato is a vegetable, then you put those who say that is a vegetable under one code. Okay, search, and then only then you search for themes. Okay, themes meaning that patterns. If they say that tomato is a fruit, then you combine all of these participants' opinions into one code. Okay, and then you review the theme to see whether there are any clashes or overlaps. Okay, and also to refine them. Sometimes it can be there's redundancy. So we don't want that. Okay, we want to remove any redundancy or overlaps. Okay, and then defining and naming themes. This one, yeah, of course, anyone who does this. Okay, and then they stress producing the report, of course, in the thesis, and then they stress on reflexivity. Researchers should acknowledge their role in interpreting data. Themes don't just emerge; they are extremely constructed. Meaning, throughout the transcript, throughout the interview, sometimes they don't mention it directly. Sometimes you have to interpret, like really read and really understand what they are saying. Okay, so this is according to Braun and Clark. Okay, so the steps in conducting thematic analysis is now that we have discussed. There are 6 steps. You can refer later the slides when I share it with you. I will ask Ma'am to share. Okay, however, according to Miriam, 1998, 2009, 2016, she frames TA within the qualitative case study and interpretative research tradition only. Okay, not as flexible as Braun and Clark suggested or argued. She described meta-analysis as a process of meaning making, meaning interpretation. We want to find meaning. Okay, where the researcher moves from raw data, categorize and think. Okay, Miriam has a different process. Okay, the raw data means familiarization with the data. Categorizing is not coding yet. Categorizing is just putting everything under several umbrellas. And then think, only you arrange all of these data into one or combining or removing and etc. into certain themes. Okay, steps according to Miriam, data preparation, for example, like similar to Brown and Clark, familiarize yourself, transcribe, organize notes and documents. Open coding, read line by line, assign code labels to meaningful unit, or annotation. You can use annotation. So for example, like the participant said that, my family earns 1,000 ringgit per month. So you can put that you can annotate that as family household income, for example. Okay. And then category development, you can categorize them into, poverty, destitute, and etc. Okay. And then theme construction, merge categories into overarching theme that explain the phenomenon. Okay, Miriam emphasized inductive logic, which categorize themes emerge from data rather than being imposed, meaning that it's based on what is in the transcript rather than really interpret compared to what Brown and Clark suggested. Miriam's view only to focus more on the pattern rather than the interpretation itself. Okay, and Miriam, okay. Okay, however, Creswell has different view. Creswell integrate EA into his generic set of qualitative data analysis across designs, meaning any designs can use thematic analysis. He provides structured coding process, meaning organize, meaning familiarize yourself with the data, initial reading, memoing, or annotating. And then coding, generate categories or themes into broader descriptive categories, and then interrelating themes, meaning combining any related themes. So sometimes like, for example, like for example, from my research, the related. For example, educators' readiness in online and remote learning. That is one theme. Okay, and then there's also educators' preparation for online and remote learning. That is the second theme. Okay, so those two sounds about the same, so you can combine. Okay, so that you don't have any redundancy, meaning you are cleaning up your data. Okay, Creswell emphasized that themes are not just summaries, but provide insightful answers to the research problem. Okay, now of course we have to interpret our transcript. Okay, so all of these authors and researchers, they have different ways of doing thematic analysis. Okay. However, if you do IPA, which I'm not gonna touch today, because IPA is a little bit tricky and the process is a bit longer. Okay, so you follow your school of thought. Who do you believe in? Ron and Clark, Miriam, or Creswell? I followed Creswell during my studies. So his method is a little bit more, I would say, easier to follow. Yeah. Okay, strategies to ensure credibility, rigor, and trustworthiness for qualitative data analysis. Okay, credibility parallel to internal validity, meaning that you share your coding, you share your themes with your supervisor, perhaps, or your peer, and they also interpret the same thing. They understand the same meaning. Okay, so that's how you gain credibility. Or you can also set or share your findings with with experts, and they have they have similar meaning or understanding. Okay, and then transferability parallel to external validity. Okay, can the findings be applied to other contexts of group? So, for example, let me talk about technology facilitated gender-based violence. Can this research be used for just gender-based violence instead of technology facilitated? We remove technology out of the context of research. Can you still use this method in different group or different community? Okay. And then dependability parallel to reliability. Are the findings consistent and repeatable if the study were replicated in the same context? So, for example, you can use audit trail to keep systematic record of data collection, coding decision, memos, and methodological changes. And then you code recode strategy. Code recode meaning that you when you do coding, right, sometimes there's a lot of codes that you have to do, that you already done. Okay, so sometimes you already forgotten. Okay, and then sometimes there are redundancies, so you have to code and recode often. You have to do this process quite often. Okay, peer review, external audit, and etc. Okay, and then conformability, parallel to objectivity. Does it answer to your research question or research objective? Okay. You have to do reflexive journaling to keep notes on your own assumption, decision, and reflection throughout the study. Okay. And then you use triangulation to again using multiple sources methods to help reduce bias. Triangulation can come in the form of triangulation of sources, triangulation of data, triangulation of theory, triangulation of methodology. Okay, when I was doing my PhD, I did triangulation of theory and triangulation of data. Okay, to confirm my assumption. Okay, and an audit trail, direct quotes. Direct quotes you take from your coding. Okay, so coding fundamentals, there are several cycles. Okay, first cycle code, or we call it open coding. This is everything that you feel like answering to your the answer to your research objective or research question. Okay, everything, anything. Okay, that you feel like, oh, this is somehow related to my research, then you highlight and drag it. Okay, or second cycle, meaning you already cleaning up. Cleaning up meaning that you can combine, you can remove. Okay, and then lastly, you can also do the second coding is called selective coding, and then third level coding is level coding. Third level coding is still refining, then cleaning up all of the redundancies. Okay, I don't remember what it's called. Sorry. It was there just now, and then suddenly it's missing. Okay. So what NVivo does or doesn't? Okay, they do organize sources, put data, run queries, visualize, support the work. And they also allow you to, now with NVivo 15, they allow you to, uh, they allow you to analyze Excel, meaning that your sometimes survey they have this open-ended question, correct? Yeah, they allow you to analyze surveys also for open-ended questions. Okay. What they don't do is to replace researcher judgment or generate themes automatically. Okay, to generate themes automatically, now we have AI assistant for NVivo 15 and onwards. But UW, we did, again I mentioned, UW, we did take the picture to take AI assistant with during the acquiring this software. So we don't have that. I wish I could show you. Okay, where they generate themes, and then you can also edit or remove the themes that they suggested. Okay, and then these themes that they generated, that NVivo generated, is not from out of thin air. Where like ChatGPT, when you ask them to generate codes for you, and then they came out with something out of thin air. And AI assistant from NVivo is that they generate themes based on the transcript that you uploaded. Meaning they will read the references that you uploaded in NVivo. Okay, so that's how we come up with, for example, like online living challenges, readiness, understanding, and etc. Okay, the core concept for using NVivo is to manage projects, to gather file or sources and to organize them, to produce notes or codes, and then cases, memos, queries, and visualization. Visualization in the form of charts, word count, and etc. Okay. So, okay, let's move on to our end report. Okay, I'm sure that everyone is already like anticipate for this. Number B. Can everyone see? No, cannot. How do I do this? Huh?
You cannot put it on slideshow.
Yeah. Okay. What's going on? Let's go. But first, where are you? Hello. People is not working.
This is the PGRC laptop.
Hold on now. Tapi buka ada tak keluar. Open lah. Demi kepeni. Tak keluar. Tolong. Tadi keluar. let's start from the scratch then. I already have the one that I'm showing. But let's start from the scratch. Okay, so you open your NVivo 15, they will have the first page. And the first interface is this. Okay, so if you don't have any project, you can start a new project and then you have to decide. You have project title. So for example, my project title today is I and learn for students. Description is you can put a description of your title or the description of your research. You can leave it at some and then you can hit log if you are not sharing anyone else. Okay. Auto save the project if yes, it's but if you don't have it, then it is fine also. Okay. You decide whether you want to save it or not. Okay. And then you create a project because the people is pretty heavy. Sometimes crash and those you see all these returns, you see all these and files, you can upload all any that your so let's do that. So click import, import, click file is for your transcript. Survey is for your open and exam. Meaning that you pick survey, right? And then answers. So you upload your survey for that as your open and capture. We also did not sign we don't and capture feature, feature. And capture is a web capture for meaning that it can be used for Google if you have the engine of Google. And then they will capture the web or website that you want. For example, like sometimes you don't want to capture, you don't want to download research articles, for example. Okay, you can capture it from it's a text extension on Microsoft Text that I tried. Okay, so let's go and you can upload your create this. But here, books and here. To start with, you first have to create container or all parameter. Okay, you have to create a parameter. So click right click and then go click new code. Okay, new code. For example, I usually do my parent, my research or research question as a parent. So I so description was description you can you have to take aggregate coding children. Aggregate coding from children it will calculate how many codes that you coded from this from this click OK. This is the period. Okay. Now to start okay, you you open your translate. So last week one of your course. Okay, so this question tracking probe whether the student have whether the student finds it easier to learn online or in physical class. So student answer is I can say it's both because when it's physical we get to see the data etc. So you can copy this, you can highlight this and put here on here, right? You could lesson. The codes don't be perfect. You can just grab as long as you have the first code, and then you drag into the code. This is the aggregate that I mentioned. So we already coded from one file. So there's three one reference. Okay, so this is the reference. You can click here. So this is the reference. Okay, so for example, you want let's open a second transfer. Okay, and find the city company. Okay, you also that bonus. From cities because the first the first question is for this time you can take from the answer because when you I know my answer but voice you should yeah. You should take it from the first question and so you should take the thing right. So it's about the same. Okay. Or if you have let's say if you got this okay, let's say that salah pun pergi dekat lesson understanding. Okay, let's say you just delete. Yeah, so you can sorry and put you can okay. So let's see. Let's think more on lecture readiness. Okay. Lecture readiness. So we grab. You can also do meditation. So for example, you have, for example, this is the so this is meditation. For example, so for example, you want this is already a parent, this is the children, you want so you can also do a put the child and then you put so for example the sound as an understanding comprehension. A sense of that the children understand. I I lecture so the physical sound and then every from children it comes out. It's automatically so so what you're saying is data is what we call so it can be it can be your research activity, your research question. Okay, and then this parent or what we call child. Okay, this is a child. Okay, this is yes, the yeah, parent and children. So, okay, here, okay, let's say you want to visualize. Okay, you want to visualize okay, okay, how the previous data is you can stay on the bird and then you can remove it. So for example, okay, uh, so this is for how to use NVivo basically. You guys have any questions? This is very short. That's it. That's it. The lead, well, if you want to do the lead, it depends on okay. Okay. So let's get uh, we need that output. Let's see. Uh, so if you have this is the need. So this is for you. Is pretended to similar or overlap. This is the NVivo, but I cannot show you because you don't have it. You don't have picture here. Uh, so here you have to do this. You have to do yeah. But it's difficult to do from NVivo compared to using, you know, work or yes. So we would not all individuals so and we will help us organize all of these transfers and all of the codes that we have collected or chose to use for our research. So for example, like here, right, we chose okay, so like here, so this is how we organize. We don't have to search for a transfer. Okay, they will it's already one team or one child or something. Yes, you get this. Example. So yeah, if you have guidance, you you have guidance from the transcript that you uploaded. Yes, yes. And then not only that, also summarize the whole transcript, or they summarize your choice. Uh, so that so what I should now is the basic how to organize oh, masuk dalam today dalam this is right. Oh, okay. Let's see. No, not the appendix because what you have is it as a evidence. Not evidence. Okay, so experience. So That's my preference. Uh, and you can also, yeah, not important people, you can also upload video, you can upload audio, you can transcribe with which and you they only had this feature in the previous video. So I had to do that. So this is preferences. So that's all. They prefer both regular classes. You can put the child the need preference. You can put uh, physical task. Is put it to the parent and this. If the parent is dependency, then you can see how to organize. Uh, if you have any idea, then I can how to generate these. In fact, the AIS in which lines use or the or what code we use. But so far, my initiative is quite simple compared to using so any question about the NVivo apa ya? Kalau ya. With the AI that people finish lots. Basically, and yeah, to be